who were setting the legacy. They were just there as support of the building of a legacy. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So it's totally different.
It's
now.
Not. It's not totally.
It is.
It's not. No. I got a question. I got a question. Name a well-respected name, last name that has legacy.
Hilton.
Buress.
Hilton.
Like,
Hilton. No.
She ate that. Ah, that was funny. Buress. Oh man.
So Hilton, you think Hilton?
Hilton? Not really.
So
Hilton.
So Hilton.
Yeah.
So now I got a question for you. Y'all value y'all last names, but if you were marrying into a Hilton, would Hilton be a last name that you would have
You not a Hilton, nigga.
taken on, or is it just more so about?
I don't value mine. I'm taking my man's last name. Like, that's just stupid.
And that's the thing I'm saying. Like, okay, yeah, you hyphenated your name because you didn't want to leave your daughter behind. But if I was a Hilton, and that,
I still wouldn't. I never
It
would have
would be
let my
Buress
daughter
Hilton.
down. It would just been Buress Hilton.
Yeah.
Yes,
y'all
it
would have
would.
jumped on that Hilton so quick. I'm a Hilton. Get out of here.
I'm not even on that.
I'm a Hilton.
I feel like I built my own legacy, so I definitely don't give a damn about no damn Hilton. I would not leave my daughter from prior to marriage feeling like she was left out by having a different last name if I had to.
But why did she have to be left out? Why did she have to feel left out?
Because she felt left out coming into the marriage. Don't act like you don't know that.
No. I'm speaking to the situation. Why does she have to be felt left out? Like, why isn't that a conversation? Why isn't it like, you know what? This is the man of the house. This is the last name. Let's work together. Let's all be one. Because we're not all the same now. So Ace Blaze, Ace, Blaze, Kayla. Time out. Just listen first. Listen.
Her name is Parker.
Listen.
Kayla got her mama last name and yours combined.
Right. So listen. So now her and Riley have different situations, and then Blaze and Ace have different situations. Why can't we just come and do one thing? Why can't we have a conversation and be like, we are a unit, we're all gonna be this?
Now, I'm not gonna say that once upon a time I didn't feel like him. I didn't feel that strongly ever, but I felt like him once upon a time. And when I say once upon a time, I'm saying like in my 20s maybe. But he's a grown man. What the fuck does the last name like? Ain't none of these our last names, bro. My last name is Hayes, nigga. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Your last name, I don't even know your last name. Her last name is Buress. My last name is Hayes. Her last name is Buress. Smith, Jones, Johnson, Johnson. These are white people names, fam. Ain't none of these our names. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh no, I don't care. God dang. This is the hubris, the ego of men. It just is wild. Like, who fucking cares? Nobody cares. I don't care. First of all, you didn't carry them babies. Let's just lay that out there. You didn't carry those babies, Todd. Them is her babies. But they gotta have your last name. Why? For what? Them is her babies. It's crazy. It should all be traced through the mother, to be honest with you. And I mean, y'all know I'm all about the matriarchy, but like, just that part. I mean, it should all be traced through the mother. It is because every child belongs to that mom. You know what I'm saying? The father's, well, maybe mama's baby, papa's maybe, right? So why would you want to put a last, like, what? No, they all should have their mother's last name by default.
Because you would have to
even get used to being a what they call it, a blended family. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like any child that they automatically, kids come into this new relationship, new marriages, already kind of scared of, well, how is this going to affect me? You know what I mean? They automatically have those worries or concerns as a kid. I mean, I know I did because my parents married multiple times. So each time my dad got married, I used to be like, okay, what does this mean now? how is this about to work? You know what I mean? Like, is he gonna be treating me different than her kids, or how is this going to work? So to me, that's something that I've always been very conscious of. You know, knowing that I was a single mom, like, how is this gonna work when I get married one day or whatever, or if I get married one day. At that time, I didn't know if I was gonna get married or not. But once I did, I never wanted her to feel left out. Simple as that.
So that's her daughter, and she's just like, yeah, I'm like, my daughter's gonna have my last name because all my other kids. And then once that happened, then she was just gonna make all the kids have the same last name, which is her last name. I'm guessing that's what she's getting at.
And that's why I was like, yeah, it's gonna be, for me, it has to represent both her and, you know, this new part of my family. You know what I mean?
I agree, because if I get married, I'm going to be Roland Summers if I marry Michael.
But why is that though?
Because both of my kids are Roland.
Wait, how did you get your kids' last name to be the same as yours?
Because I wasn't married, and my mom, there's one thing.
So
my
you
mom
switched
did
it back
teach
to
me.
your name?
No, she taught me if you ain't married, you don't put the kids' names in the dad's names.
How?
Yeah.
How? Like, those are his kids.
Because
They are her kids. What are you talking about? This is so weird. How? Those are his kids. No, they are her kids. She birthed them. What are y'all? Man are crazy. I'm not gonna even hold. This is wild. What you did to have those babies was fun. You got pleasure out of it. She might have got some when it happened, maybe. Most of the time, not even that. But then she carried it and birthed it and then fed it. Them is her fucking babies, whether he there or not. That's what I'm saying. Like, what are y'all, like, this is nuts, man.
And I'm grateful, because guess what? While everyone's trying to get a signature to get a passport and take their kids to this school, take their kids to that school, I ain't got to do none of that. I do what I want to do.
Me too.
Yeah. So I'm grateful. Thank you,
He's sick. He's sick. She just flamed him. She was like, my life is easier because I ain't got my kid's name. I didn't stick my kids with their daddy last name.
Mom, for that. Thank you for that.
That is so funny.
That's terrible.
No.
I just think it's bad.
She's right though, because I
just
know
think it's
some
bad.
people be having the hardest time getting the dude to show up to get the kid a passport.
I just think it's
And you're going to
bad.
ask for permission, and the nigga ain't doing shit.
I just think it's
Men just want that control. They want to always have that tether to that child.
I think it's just another layer of how to erase the man. You know what I mean?
no.
He erases himself when he leaves, first and foremost. Second of all, why would that erase him? If you're there, you can't be erased. Your last name, who gives a fuck? Your legacy isn't the kid. Your legacy is your presence, right? Is what you do. So if you show up and you show up for the kid, then you can be erased. Men are always trying to find a cheap way to be remembered, right? Men always want the cheapest, fastest way to being remembered. That's why they're fucking obsessed with having kids. They don't want to do the work, just have the kids. Oh, let's have the kids. Let's have the kids. Okay. And then give them my last name. That way you know it's mine.
No, it is.
No,
It
it's
is.
not. Because if
you
you
value-
like that, then she wouldn't have been able to do that.
If he
Exactly.
was an outstanding man, then we would have been married.
And that all goes
Clock
back to
it.
decisions you make. But when you make those decisions, that's what you have to deal with. And that's still
He's not talking about the man who made the decision to not be an outstanding father. He's talking about her for choosing the man. Typical abusive rhetoric, blaming the person that got abused, blaming the person that got neglected, saying, well, it's your fault, you made the choice. Typical. Yeah, I see why she don't want them babies to have your last name. You're gonna get left too, Todd. Keep talking like that.
their dad.
And that's what he got to do.
And that's why
And it's
their
still that guy,
names.
but guess what? That neither one of them ain't doing nothing. So I'm glad again. If I went back in time, I would do the exact same thing.
Me too, I ain't gonna lie.
No, but the part you're missing is those are decisions you made. So sometimes when you make bad decisions, if y'all feel like those were bad decisions, not saying the kids, the guys that you were with, those are still their dads.
Why do you want to reward the fathers for not being present? Why is your instant reflex to go to blaming the women as opposed to like, well, damn, yeah, they didn't even show up. Fuck them. What? This is why we say there's no good men, right? This is why right here. Todd thinks he's a good man. He thinks he's a good father. Here he is, though, caping for terrible fathers. Men that didn't show up. Men that aren't there for their kids. Oh, but that's still their kids. Says who? He ain't there.
And those kids should still have their dad's last name.
Why? What?
No.
Oh my God.
I mean,
This is
He hasn't made a rational, reasonable point this whole time. They should have their dad's last names. Why? He's not even there. Why?
this is
step up as a dad.
no, but this is
down there and had them to change the name.
and this is part of why the community breaks down. It's because everything is up for anybody to decide how they want to do
It's
it.
not anybody.
It's up for the women who have the babies to decide what they want to do. Yeah. They had the babies. If the men hate it so much, go get the babies. Right?
With the parents.
Yeah, but the decisions-
Stranger to the kids.
But the decisions aren't good, man. Like
Yeah,
kids should
That
have.
was a great decision. I don't know what you're talking about.
brilliant
I don't
decision.
agree, man. I think
It
kids should have
was.
their dad's last names.
No.
He hasn't said anything. He just being a complete misogynist. I just think the kids should have the dad's last names. Why, Todd? But for why, Todd? Tell us. What's the reason?
Because her dad just now getting to the point where he really trying to reach out and be around. So it's just kind of like
so
all
once,
them years, like boy, like I
And
don't
girl,
care
she's
what
21
she
at this
said.
point.
all them years,
She grown
what?
as hell. Like I ain't got time for that. Like
So all those years, what?
he wasn't participating like
Okay,
that.
and so
to me,
if he starts participating, they have a great relationship. Then
okay, but she's still a Buress because
you have your dad's
last
you have your dad's last name. You have your dad's last name, Kenny.
I do have my dad's last
And
name.
you say y'all didn't have the best situation growing up, and you know what? Y'all have a
That's her mama's choice. That ain't her choice. She didn't make that choice. She not her mama. These aren't her mama's babies. These are her babies.
great relationship
At
now.
one time, my stepdad and my mom, they had thought about, like asking me how would I feel about changing my last name to my stepdad's name.
But you didn't do that. So
I
you
did,
you were able to-
but it came up because at the time my daddy wasn't really doing nothing.
and
But that's, you would still be changing it to a man's last name, just FYI. But yeah, whatever.
that's fine. And that's fine. But you were able to maintain life. And Buress is, like you said, a respected last name, and it's your dad's last name, and it hasn't been an issue. And now you're in a good place.
It's also a whole different day and age. Like guys will
That's
go,
the problem, the day and
guys
age.
will go out their way to be a little bitch and make life hard for you, but they won't go out their way and help take care of the kids and make your life easy.
That shit
Clocky.
swings both ways. Like, let's not.
It's, Kandi, how are you listening to this? And like, what? How is this? This is like red flag central. This is that moment when it's like, in the future, if something, if they, whatever happens, I'm gonna be like, why? Like, you didn't clock it back then? I don't know.
Let's not play that game.
No, I don't.
Let's not play that game.
No, no.
Man, he was so disrespectful. He was so disrespectful. He was trying to shame those women. All of them, Kandi too. Wow, that was amazing. That was amazing. All because they wanted to keep their kids' last names, their last names, which makes perfect sense. In this case, it makes perfect sense. Todd, if you're just make sure you're in your kids' lives, man. End of the story.